Hey, you guys, welcome. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to eliminate negative energy and how to bless and cleanse an area. How to get rid of negative energy. We're going to talk about tobacco and when it's good for you. We're going to talk about sage and a couple other things that you can use. And we'll be right back. Grab your coffee cup, will you? Okay, and we're back. I've got my coffee cup. Could be a little lengthy. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Tina and I'm a psychic medium. I'm an old school biker, still riding solo after 47 years on my vintage shovelhead Harley Davidson. Those of you that don't know me, just notice the light back there in the background. I am a paranormal researcher also, and I have incorporated the flashlight method into my videos and my personal readings. So if you would like to schedule a personal reading with me, it will be listed down below in the contacts. You can comments. You can get a hold of me over at Facebook. But today we're going to talk about the most common question that I am asked, and that is, how do I get rid of negative energy? You know, there's something going on in my apartment. There's something going on at my house. There's something going on where I work. More and more of you are going to be seeing, hearing, and feeling things go on. That's what the age of Aquarius is all about. We came out of the age of Pisces, and that was all about, and that was like a 200-year stretch in there. And that was all about innovation, invention. It was about communication. It was about the expansion of all that physical stuff. Now that we have gotten into the age of Aquarius, and we're not really even in there yet, we're just like in the preface of it. It is about expanding the mind. It is about coming together and learning how to love as one. And some of the trials and tribulations that we're going through right now on this planet, with everything being in turmoil, is to force us to start getting a little more cerebral and start using some of our abilities. Okay, and since more and more of you are going to be seeing and hearing spirit, you need to know how to deal with it, how to cope with it. First off, we're going to talk about blessing and cleansing and getting how to eliminate that energy. The most common item to use is sage. One of my paranormal groups actually has an EVP recording, an electronic voice phenomena, captured that said, "Run, they have the sage." Okay? So, you know, even spirit from the other side lets us know, especially if they're negative, that it works. It has been used for centuries and centuries in the Native American cultures. Not even Native American, just any Aboriginal cultures have been using sage to eliminate negative energy. Now, this is the one that you most commonly see around in the little metaphysical shops, gift shops, all over the place. This is a ceremonial bundle, and you see them, you know, using it in ceremony. But if you're doing it at home, you don't need this. This is probably a 2-year supply of sage for the average person. What I do is I cut the string off of the bundle. I separate the leaves out till I have separate little chunks of leaf, and then I use it that way. It also comes loose. You can get this loose at a lot of bulk foods and bulk spice shops. This came from an Amish shop. Wouldn't that just put a wrinkle in their bonnet if they knew what we were using all this sage for? You do not want to get the ground powdered sage. This is whole. You can see it's kind of chunky and leafy. And the reason I bring that up is it's just as good as this for eliminating negative energy. Okay, $20 in a metaphysical shop, $1 at the bulk food store. Okay, personal preference. You do not have to have a fan or a wand. Here we go. This is again, this is ceremonial. Happens to be my own feather wand that I use, or fan. And we simply take that sage. Well, let's go ahead and get a little going here in the studio. Excuse me. Getting a little froggy here. Light the sage, blow it out, and then you're going to allow it to burn like you would incense. Now, if you check that out, that is going to fall. Can you see me? Hello. Those hot embers are going to fall, and they just did, right onto the plastic paper on the table. How about that? See, Tina, you're almost ahead of the game. But you want to carry some kind of receptacle around underneath that. If you're going to use it that way, okay? You can also use just a plain old ashtray. I like brass. You can find these little brass receptacles at yard sales for, $1. Don't get all fancy schmancy, you don't need to. Don't get all fancy schmancy, you don't need to. As a matter of fact, most of the time I don't even use the feather. I simply use my hand. All right, let's hit this again here. And I waft the smoke where I want it. Okay, using the hand. Now, when I'm cleansing myself, and just the way you should on occasion, some of us do it every day. Simply take that sage, that smoldering sage, allow that smoke to rise, and wash yourself in it like you would a mountain stream. Cup that smoke, pull it over you, and allow it to do its work. Now, if you have any kind of breathing problems, I suggest you don't get right on it. Now, there are scientific studies that prove that burning sage in the house is an antimicrobial, and it'll actually kill some bacteria in the air. But I do not suggest, if you have COPD, to get your face right over this. You can do it from a distance if you need to, or just quickly. All right. Give me a moment. Hang on. Be right back. Got to recharge on that coffee from time to time. All right. Now, if you're wanting to clear a space, your home, your office, you can even do this in a car. Okay, because sometimes people just feel like maybe there's bad energy anywhere. Your tool shed, your little favorite spot in the backyard. You can use this technique anywhere. Simply carry that smoking sage with you. Now let's go. We're going to do a house. There are a lot of rules of thought on that. Different cultures say start at the bottom of the house and work your way up. And then there's other cultures that say start at the top and work your way down. There's some cultures that say to open a window to allow the negative energy out. You know what? None of that's real important. It's the intent that you have about clearing negative energy out of your life and out of your house. You're doing it with your heart, and you're doing it with good intent. So it makes no difference, and again, don't overcomplicate it. You don't need fancy prayers, chants, don't need incantations. It is simply, you're kind of wanting to remove any negative energy in your house or your area with the same attitude that you might ask a friend to leave. Okay, let's just say you had a Super Bowl party. They hung around a little too long, drank a little too much, and then they got rowdy. You love this guy, but it's time to go. Gotta go. Be gone. That's the same attitude you got to take this on with. Um, if you feel any activity around your house and you want to get rid of it, you have to take authority. You have to stake claim to your home. You are the homeowner. You are maybe the mother in the house, or the male figure in the house. Mother holds a lot of power in energy and in a household. It is the intent. You simply say something like, no negative energy or emotion is allowed here. That's simple. Don't worry about all the prayers. Now, if it makes you comfortable reciting a prayer or putting it in the form of a spell or an incantation, then if that's your belief, go ahead. But it's not necessary. You know, why complicate it? There's also other things that you can use to kind of bless and cleanse an area. As a Native American, we also use cedar. And if you take a look at this bundle right here, you can see it's cedar boughs here. And same thing, just light it on fire, let it blow out, and carry that with you. Now, cedar is not quite as good for eliminating negative energy, but it will help bring in blessing. As will sweetgrass. Sweetgrass comes in long braided bundles, and sweetgrass has a wonderful fragrance. Love it. Just burn it the same way and allow that smoke to waft up through the area. And the last thing is tobacco. It's good for you. You know what? I'm a firm believer of every once in a while breaking over and having a good cigar. But that tobacco is actually a blessing in Native American cultures. We do not go visit our elders unless we take tobacco. It's kind of like the bread of life for Native Americans. Now, if you are a smoker, and I'm not a smoker per se, take that smoke and do the same thing. Waft it over you and wash yourself in it like you would a mountain stream, asking in mentally that you be blessed and cleansed of any negative energy, that it no longer surround you. Again, no negative energy or emotion is welcome here. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to wrap that up. That is a good beginning on how you can eliminate that negative energy around your household if you feel it. First off, don't be afraid of it. Okay? Don't let it scare you. Anytime you let anything scare you, you give energy to that. Whether that's the bully down the street that's been pushing you around for years, whether it's the boss at work, just don't let them know that. Don't give it any power. Let it go. Let that shit go. The biggest key is, if you don't know who it is, just go ahead and eliminate that negative energy. Now, some of you are worried that if you do that, you might get rid of grandpa's energy. Grandpa died 20 years ago, but he still kind of comes around and visits. It will not eliminate loving, friendly energy. It only eliminates negative energy. Now, once you have blessed and cleansed the area, you've actually only kind of neutralized that. The way to bring in positive vibes, there's a ton of ways. One of my favorites is every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Remember the movie? That also calls them in closer. I often ring the bell when I'm getting that paranormal flashlight set up. And you know what? I did it. It was on earlier. Not going to respond today. But I ring that bell to pull in that positive energy. Okay? Pull in those beings of the light. Another way to do that is you'll see Back here on my shelf, I have a ton of crystals. Crystals will do that too. Oh, wow. Did you just see that orb just take off through there? Awesome. Um, you can do it with tiny little fairy lights. They they give off negative ions, and negative ions are responsible for bringing in a better feeling. You know, that positive vibe feeling. So there's a lot of ways. Once you eliminate the negative energy with the sage, then go the next step and welcome in blessings and beings of the light and pull in that positive energy. Pull it in with your heart, pull it in with love. Um, when you say no negative energy or emotion is welcome here, you can also follow that up with only peace and prosperity is allowed to dwell. All right, you guys, going to wrap it up. I hope that gave you some guidance, and if it helped at all, please let me know down in the comments. And I never leave you guys that I don't bless you all with love and light. See you soon.